I got a bit of pushback on the videos I made about Black Americans depending on systems that work against us. Basically, people feel like they don't have options, and that's an issue, but I'm a problem solver. So here are 10 ways we could start detaching from the system today without interrupting your life. The most simple yet effective way for us to begin individually and as a community is to start growing our own food. It helps avoid processed foods, pesticides, and chemicals. Fresh food gives us better energy and a stronger immune system. Growing herbs like mint, basil, and aloe are natural remedies for digestion, inflammation, and skincare. We will spend less money on groceries, supplements, or takeout, and it teaches patience, observation, and responsibility. For small spaces, you could look into container gardening, which uses pots, buckets, crates, tubs, or recycled containers. Great for growing herbs like basil and mint, leafy greens like spinach and lettuce, and small peppers or tomatoes. Ensure you have drainage and 6+ hours of sunlight a day. If you have a backyard or a yard, you could also use raised beds, which use wood, bricks, or stones. You fill it with nutrient-rich soil and compost. You plant a mix of veggies, herbs, or flowers, which are pollinators. We can also begin community gardens, which are shared spaces where people donate seeds, water, materials, and labor. Everyone takes what they need and leaves extra for others. Something we could do that's also simple but takes time out of your day. Cooking from scratch. It cuts processed, high sodium, and low nutrition foods from your diet. Cooking from scratch is cheaper than takeout, and you control what goes in your body. Learning to cook is basic survival skills. Start by picking one simple meal this week: rice, protein, and veggies. You want to be sure to keep pantry staples like rice, beans, eggs, and frozen or fresh vegetables. If you have these ingredients, then you have a meal. You can even learn cooking techniques to see what works best for you: sauteing, roasting, or baking. I'm calling y'all to cook at least one meal from scratch this week. No Alfredo, no Rotel. Next, learn a valuable skill or recognize how to utilize the ones you already have. This helps us depend less on money and more on our physical efforts. Skills can be traded for goods, services, or cash. You'll rely on yourself rather than systems. Recognize skills like hair care and braiding, sewing and repair, carpentry, cooking, and childcare. And if you aren't passionate about something, just don't do it, because other people shouldn't have to suffer at your hands because you hate what you're doing. Instead, find things that you are passionate about so you can thrive and so you can have happy customers, happy clientele. Choose a skill and practice 2 to 3 times a week via tutorials or mentorship. Next, we want to start connecting with our community more. This includes trade and bartering, which we'll talk more on later. Starting community learning groups. Combining skills, food, and labor. You learn from others and teach in return. Let's say you're a mechanic, but you need someone to fix your AC. Y'all could work together. Or let's say you grow your own food, but you need to find childcare. Then you would find someone who is good with children and who will accept food as payment. Remember, the goal is to cover our needs without falling victim to the system. It's really important that we get into trading and bartering. This is one of the biggest things that will reduce our need for money. You trade what you know for what you need. This will encourage reciprocity and interdependence. So this could be trading labor, knowledge, or goods. Something really important in the Black community is we need to learn how to control our money. This means spending more intentionally, investing into yourself and your community. Right now, a majority of the things that we purchase comes from outside of our community and it funds other communities. If we start circulating our money within a Black community, that will build economic power, which will give us room for actual change. So, individually, what this will look like is either building a business or supporting Black businesses. And as a Black business owner, we want to be sure that we are providing quality to our consumers. We aren't trying to take from our community, we're trying to build our community. We always want to look for opportunities to save, trade, or grow your own resources. Something a lot of Black people try to write off, but is very important, is planting and buying land. This ensures food security and survival not only for you, but generations to come. You'll be able to grow crops, raise livestock, and store resources. You'll have financial and structural independence. Land equals long-term stability. You'd have to decide if you want to live individually, have a family compound, or live co-op. You'll have to research cost, location, and co-op options. Even small land or backyard gardens count. This week, you should build a plan for the kind of land you'd want in the future. Would you want a well? Would you want livestock? What types of fruits and veggies would you grow? Would you want a compound or would you want a small plot? Knowledge is key, and y'all have to learn how the system works, but also how the system works against you. Understanding how the system uses you will help you not be used, and you'll be able to use the system in a way that benefits you instead of extracts from you. While things like credit seems to work in your favor, it was actually created to keep us out of certain spaces. And realize, even with good credit, some Black Americans aren't able to pull out mortgages. These people underestimate us, not in the things we do, but in our intelligence. When we share our knowledge, our skills and traditions are passed on. We build influence and we have mutual support networks. Within our community, we should be sharing skills, we should be sharing knowledge, we should be sharing anything that we feel will help the next person. Cooking, gardening, trade skills, repairing, book smarts, street smarts, we all need to be sharing information. Last but not least, just do it. Believe in yourself, believe in your community. Build yourself up, build up your community. I call to all my Black Americans. This week, I want you to begin one thing from this list. This is the first step towards true freedom, towards Black sovereignty, towards the life we deserve to live, not the life we have been settling for.